Another great episode by Studio MAPPA.
Shut up and sit down.
Yo, what's good? It's a boy do the views and heavy spoilers for AOT episode 82 Sunset, You Have Been Warned. I feel like these past 5 to 6 episodes of the final season part 2 have all felt like they were 5 minutes long, but this is probably the first episode of the season to feel like a 23-minute episode. But all for the right reasons, and let's just go straight on to the good. I love the scenes of Hitch and Annie talking about Annie's past and her entire backstory of her being adopted by her father and the way her father was treating her as she was growing up. I love the dialogue back and forth of Annie and Hitch. It reminds me of the OVAs. I loved how we got to dive deep into Annie's mind and what she was truly thinking and feeling when she was doing the missions. I love how all this dialogue is complemented with the beautiful background art and the colors of Hitch and Annie riding on the horse. Love the reds, purples and yellows of the sky. Annie revealing to Hitch that she was conscious for 4 years and how everything felt like some weird endless dream. I mean, damn, that must have been kind of trippy for her to just sort of see nothing but darkness and just hear voices every now and again. And as well as Annie having a pretty stellar episode, Flock was definitely the main star of this episode for me. His obsession of him needing a devil to save the world is just kind of freaky, just seeing how warped and twisted this dude's views and ideologies are. And the way he was just shooting that poor guy to death without any hesitation kind of reminded me a little bit of Aaron when he murdered those kidnappers, and my boy Jean is just looking at this guy like he's a maniac. But at this point, Jean just feels like he's just given up. He's just like, I don't want to fight anymore. And the way Flock transitions from just shooting this guy looking like a maniac to just him smiling at Jean, telling him in a soft voice that he can be whatever he wants to be. Just Flock's whole vibe this episode just really gave me the creeps throughout. I feel like this episode is also a turning point for our girl Mikasa Ackerman, as she's just sort of lost and doesn't know what to do, and she's just pestering Armin about what she needs to do, and Armin just sort of snaps as Mikasa's like worried about Eren once again, and he's just like, come on Mikasa, like there's nothing we can do, the guy's made his choice. And how Mikasa's whole goal in life was to protect Eren and be by his side. It's interesting how Eren is doing something that's definitely going against what Mikasa wants. This episode also made me feel sorry for Connie, as we kind of disliked him the past few episodes as he was screaming and shouting at people and just sort of being a little bit unlikable in my opinion. But then when you think about it, you kind of feel bad for this guy. His entire family was slaughtered by the Titans, his potato girl being killed because Eren forced the scouts into battle. I mean, damn, this dude's going through a lot of internal pain. Keith Satters also had a pretty great moment as he revealed to the Jaegerist boys that he pretty much let them beat him up as he wanted to protect them, as he was worried what the Jaegers would do to them. You just have even more respect for this guy, because despite everything these guys put him through, like, he's still got their backs and he's still willing to protect them. As well as the great character development, this episode had probably some of the best background sceneries and lighting in any episode of the season so far. It was definitely without a doubt the most colourful episode. Mainly the scenes with Hitch and Annie riding on the horse outside. The whole vibe of this episode felt very grim with the colours, yet there was also a little bit of hope with the yellow tinge in the sky. Some of those shots of the Colossal Titans walking just looked absolutely gorgeous. It reminded me of some of the Colossal Titan scenes of Wit Studio back in season 1. This episode also had pretty damn consistent character designs throughout, particularly with Annie. Honestly, I feel like MAPPA have a certain soft spot for blondes. For the most part, I pretty much like this pacing. It's quite slow paced compared to the previous episodes. It only adapted one chapter throughout, but I feel like for some people it might be a bit of a turn off, as they probably want to get more into the action and for things to truly progress in the story. Honestly, in terms of negatives, there's nothing negative I found with this episode. It was pretty much a beautiful adaptation of chapter 125. Once again, I gotta praise the colors and the background art, particularly that one orphanage when Annie was a little baby and her adopted dad picked her up. And of course you had little moments with the Marleyan and the Eldians on the main continent of Mali trying to convince those soldiers to help them and flee, but the dudes are just not paying attention to them. They just see them as Eldian devils, and it's just irritating seeing these Marleyan dudes. But in their heads, I kind of do see where they're coming from. I mean, all of a sudden these Eldians are all just shouting and screaming at the Marleyans, saying that the rumbling is happening. But I mean, wouldn't these soldiers actually try and believe these guys after Willie Tyber's speech on Eren's threats? But yeah, overall, pretty brilliant episode actually. I really liked it in terms of the visuals. The story was still slow, but it was still progressing at the same time. think I'll give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a A. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Like, share this video, subscribe for more Attack on Titan reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more. But thank you for watching, and as always, Aborted Review signing out.